This week on Hermitcraft.
There's a We Prefer Flying Club?
Yeah, it's called Put on a Lighter and Fly.
Oh, man.
Welcome to the Hermitcraft RECAP. My name is Pixelriffs, our writer is LoyXP, and it's week 5, which is apparently the week everyone builds a mountain. Sooner or later, we'll stop doing these intro bits where we're surprised everyone has accomplished incredible feats of Minecrafting in a short amount of time, but this really wasn't the week to be doing that. So while the terraformers are earthbending the land to their will, the grinders are redefining branch mining, the builders are making castles overnight, the redstoners are coming up with whole new farms, and the mad lads with end crystals are just doing whatever this is, let's take a look at all the events and mishaps that occurred on the Hermitcraft server this week. Starting with Tinfoil Chef, who emerges from the branch mine to do some shopping for enchantments. Luckily for him, the paths B-Dubs has established across the continent lead him to an outpost of Big Eyes Pass and Gas, where he can be briefly wowed by the mandatory neon signs.
I love the signs. That's beautiful.
Snagging a handful of books and shulker boxes, TFC returns to his mine to set up his fortune pickaxe and start amassing his hoard of resources.
Oh, I don't have enough XP to do all of that. But that's okay. That's just Jim Dandy.
Bookshops are a popular destination for people still working on their toolset, and Iskal85 needs one heck of a shovel, because his first mega project is an Ocean Monuments Guardian farm, and once he clears out the spongefish, he decides he's going to drain all the water from the area, which naturally means a whole lot of sand and a 1v70 laser tag arena.
This is a mega project.
It's a task made simpler by a redstone contraption and a few solid walls, and when he's ready to take a break, he can always spend some time delivering the latest batch of medals to the No Wings Club.
Well, I will leave you to it.
CubFan135, on the other hand, has abandoned shovels as a concept and has been digging out snow with TNT and buckets of all things. Putting the blocks to a good use, Cub surrounds his unified snow and ice farms in a round wall, forming a bowl of some kind. More of a donut, really. A snow nut. Another testament to how quickly the hermits can build as long as the materials are provided for. And the material Cub is extra struggling for is iron and cauldrons, meaning to expand the powdered snow farm just so the server has universal access to the Christmas card Instagram filter.
Can you see me inside? Oh, you can! That's awesome. Yeah.
To that end, CubFan finds himself caroling from hermit to hermit in the hopes they'll spare some kitchenware for the cause.
That's a good
Now,
one.
is there a way to actually make these en masse, or do I have to make them one by one?
Lucky then that Tango Tech is back on his business again, having dug deep into the golem spawning mechanics and come out victorious. His unique iron farm design operates by abducting freshly scared villagers to a much higher spot, where they can summon a golem but can't tell anyone about it. And so, like clockwork, the whole village is jumping awake one after another to spawn a golem army so they can deal with the two dapper-looking zombies.
A villager can't spawn another golem for 30 seconds after seeing a golem, and whenever they spawn a golem, it's every villager within 10 blocks in any direction.
Much effort went into timing the events just right, as well as figuring out how to throw a guy this many blocks this quickly. But we also discover that the Big Eyes shades have immense UV protection.
UV protected, Big Eye Zombie Gang, complete!
In a place the sun can't reach, false Symmetry expands the lush cave of the multi-spawners to a wider variety of green, including green concrete for texturization. As the crevice opens, her work starts to more and more resemble actual 1.18 cave generation, especially with the flowing water segments and the open areas leading through. With the spawner traps getting progressively submerged in moss, she seems determined to bring 1.18 to the server, one cave at a time.
I kind of feel like whimsical is the way to go this season.
It's hard to get more whimsical than Pearlescent Moon giving us a full llama fashion show, but eventually she settles on the outfit that launches 1,000 ships. Nicknamed the Larmada, her fleet of merchant camelids are floated around the server touting the best sellers from her shop, name tags, tinted glass, and a small selection of enchanted books. It's a good thing she's taken her business elsewhere, because Mumbo might turn up to grouse about the doors.
Like, you just do this, you just walk through. Why you struggle so much? Why? Don't go through the... Look, that's how Corrales does it, you know, and then Green does it. Green opens them all the way and then walks through the middle.
I'm
I
trying,
don't think
pal.
that's the way to do it either.
After some more amiable visits from Gemini Tay and CubFan yield a fox and some powdered snow respectively, Pearl heads over to Corrales' house to plan their latest timeshare scheme, by which we mean B-Dubs sharing his clocks with them, perhaps involuntarily. But their latest plan is more cunning than just walking up and asking for one. The two team up to build a magnificent ruined castle along one of the continental roadways, which they plan to turn into an adventure dungeon where B-dubs can activate various things using clocks. The redstone side will have to wait, but in the meantime we have to acknowledge the lengths they will go to just to lift a pocket watch from the man in the moon.
Baby? Maybe.
I like that idea.
Having casually built a mountain in about the time it takes most humans to build a cobblestone shack, B00 finds himself without any stone to add to it, even if he wanted to. So he whips up a dual-purpose cobblestone and natural stone farm, pausing only to get the seal of approval from Tango, who's in the middle of redefining iron farms again, mostly by resurrecting the Beastie Boys.
I like this.
So,
this is brilliant.
Yeah, so it's a thing. I made something cool. Did people make this?
Well, I've never seen this. You just revolutionized Minecraft.
I did?
Yes, you did.
I've been trying for 10 years, Tango.
You done it.
Seeing Pearlescent Moon's Llama floating around the server and being the master llama breeder at this point, B-Dub sees a mutually beneficial business opportunity. He also sees the castle Corrales and Pearl have built, although that may be another story for another time. He might be a little late to the party, but he signed up to the No Wings Club, and then the Yes Wings Club, realising there's nothing really stopping him from signing up to both teams. There's also nothing stopping him sneaking Corrales' take of the Parson gas profits to Gemini Tay under the table.
B-Dubs is perfect.
New adjective.
I like it.
Yeah?
I like it.
Gem has her own prospects, what with her collecting moss, spores and funguses and then selling them to the rest of the server. Inspired by a Dripleaf Umbrella fan art she received, Gemini opens up a Dripleaf and Dripleaf accessories shop that uses the same concept for its decor.
And then I saw this, and I thought, well, I just have to put a Dripleaf Umbrella over my shop.
The supply chain for it reaches out of the newly redecorated tiny farm basement and to a flower forest biome Gem claimed as her own to establish a variety flower farm. Which is funny because ultimately all of these are just bone meal. Always have been. It's a fact Etho is exploiting to the max. Now his master moss farm can provide bone meal to basically everything else in the area. He wires up a control panel for various bone meal based farms, which means he now has infinite glowy plants and non-glowy plants at his disposal. He's also having fun finally getting to use his drowned farm in the server's rare quiet moments, and when he's not panic buying all the shulker boxes from his local branch of Parson Gas.
And pretty much we're the only ones that live near this store. So he's pretty much built this store for just me and Iskel, right? It's not bad if I hoard the entire stock here.
He's smart to do so because it seems the Hermitcraft economy is about to be hit real hard on a whole new level. Azuma Void, or rather Evil Azuma, has now introduced a never-before-seen currency to the Hermitcraft server. Functioning more like casino chips than actual money, the derp coins, unique items Evil X brought in, are the internal currency of his shop, and the only one you can use in there. So to buy anything from the two, one will first need to exchange some of the diamonds for the fun pretend money.
But then when you come over here, again, the maths will get harder because 5 derp coins for 12, 10 for 64. What does this all mean? The mathematics of it is all too difficult.
It's a well-tried trick to get the customers to spend more than they may be expected, and to confuse them about the actual value of things. The X's aren't kind to the villagers either, having figured out how to bypass the out-of-stock issue on the testificates, and started trading ad infinitum with no penalty for time.
Okay, now I'm good for you to log out.
Logging out, sir. Are you liking this? This is pretty clever, right?
Vintage Beef plans some villager trading of his own once the right kind of zombie shows up, although he has to wait for Stress Monster to bring over a brown mushroom first. After tentatively cheesing the Wither, he visits XB and Hypno for some easy iron and activates a beacon through the body of his rapidly evolving spaceship. He's even got some iron left over when CubFan comes around with the powder snow bucket. Outlining the floor plan of the spaceship, Beef's first invention is a teleporter which warps him straight into the structure from a fixed point outside. But messing around with alien technology seems to be having a strange effect on him.
I mean, I don't know what's going on with me, really. There's some weird stuff is happening. I really don't know.
I feel like the stuff on your apron there is finally seeping in.
Yeah, I don't know.
Wow, there is something weird.
Since the iron deal worked out so well for them, and they're also getting some reusable water bottles out of their other deals, XB decides to set up some market stalls so he and Hypno can sell their farm produce. So yeah, it's a farmer's market. Making it easier to access is next on the agenda, and he chooses an unconventional but thematic signpost for Horsehead Farms. A live horse's head pokes through the ground at each of the 4 portals, letting you know which direction you can expect to go from there. He also relocates the Glow Ink farm to the Horsehead Farms area, although it might need moving again to avoid the drowned thinning the population of axolotls, and connects his house up to the continental pathways via a tunnel, although visitors might want to watch their heads if they arrive on horseback.
Not everything has to be super complicated with 28 trillion different blocks in a 4-block space, okay?
But Hypnotized is not far behind on his own base's development. Though it takes a farm to feed the village, the wheat nano farm in question fits right into the cute mushroom houses Hypno selected as his home's theme. Too bad Jevin isn't blue anymore, because Hypno pretty much nailed the Smurf village look there.
But the club, guys, the medals.
We're in the We Prefer Flying Club.
Yup.
The Yes Wings Club will surely be proud of their new unsuspecting members, especially now they have an official clubhouse. Impulse SV and Wells Knight have completely redesigned their command center to something more resembling an airport terminal or an airplane club, which would be what they're going for. Wells even built a helicopter right outside of it so people won't mistake it for any other building.
Wells, you did it. You made a helicopter, man.
I did. I love it so much.
Their plan is to lure in more and more people over from horse traveling and medals by offering bonus benefits and a stylish aviator hat to anyone who signs up.
It doesn't match up very well with my eyes, but it looks amazing.
You're gonna have to move your eyes.
It looks much better on you. I look so derpy.
Although another mode of transportation raises its head over at Grian's when the humble storage minecart he was using as a shop became a large cargo train of wonders, bringing in valuables of all kinds in thematically arranged train carts. Then Grian found Mumbo selling end crystals, and that was a whole thing. What's real cool too is Grian tallied up all the TEG scores up to that point, but by then the thing has changed hands another dozen or so times, so let's get into that, shall we?
Oh, there it went. There it went.
When last we left the game of TEG, the Dragon Egg was safely in the hands, or rather the redstone-filled puzzle tower, of Iskall85. Enter Impulse SV, who braves the Iskall Mystery House to examine, intuit, decipher, and occasionally brute force his way through the challenges until the egg is finally within his grasp.
Impulse has got loads of little hidey holes everywhere. Would he hide it in here? Does this count as a base?
His plan for keeping it safe was much simpler. Impulse hides the TEG within a secret compartment behind a lava block he was using as a trash can. What he didn't account for is Gem and Grian coming around to do some dumpster diving.
Water. Oh, God. Oh, yes, yes, yes!
It worked!
Grian snatches the coveted prize right before Gemini, both time-wise and physically in front of her, but feels bad enough to only hide it a little and let Gem find it in his house merely 1 point later. Jevin is next in the line of succession, and he quickly discovers that Gem's advantage in this game is how many nooks and crannies her home has. But having assembled a hole to the bedrock riddled with labyrinths and secret passages specifically to hide the TEG in, Jevin was not to back down. He finally finds the dragon offspring drowned in a watering hole in Gem's backyard and was able to hide it much deeper, especially now that he dug up 2 extra full chunks down to bedrock for a slime farm, supposedly, but you never really know.
Alright, so I should probably know this. Day 4163. That's right, baby. Mark it down. Your boy's got the TEG.
Mumbo might be able to create a successful business here.
We might be able to create a successful business here.
An eco-friendly business he names Harmless Harvests, which naturally sells everything he's been able to acquire without directly slaying anything. Before long, the shop is actually making a profit, and all it took was mining hundreds of obsidian blocks by hand. After a solid roast on Grian's base,
stone witch's hat and big red snakes.
He follows suit with his own scaled-up base design, a task which involves outlining it first, then building a pretty suspended wireframe around it. Among all this base work, he notices a problem with Pearlescent Moon's doors and needs to vent his frustrations, so he calls an emergency meeting. The two of them duel with end crystals, using a furnace as their cue to draw, and flinging eggs at the opponent's target.
First time you've done this.
This is the first time.
This honourable exchange quickly devolves as soon as Grian gets a hand on the end crystals, and pretty soon he and Mumbo are tripping over each other to blow the other one up. Eventually they rope Impulse in, although he manages to avoid having the roof blown off his house, and Mumbo decides he'd better rig up some redstone tests to keep his egg-slinging skills sharp if he's going to settle disputes this way in future. And finally, there's Impulse, who is reminded by his server mates that gold might actually be worth money after all. Setting up a hot air balloon to sell gold blocks and blackstone, and simultaneously encourage people to sign up for the Yes Wings Club, Impulse plans to save some of the blocks for his own megabase plan, which involves expanding Botum Town a little. The colour palette is very on brand, and might have something to do with him setting up a Wither Rose farm only for Wells Knight to have had a successful night AFKing at the Ink farm. All that black dye had to be put to use somewhere, and the Wither Roses might be dangerous, but Impulse has had to deal with much more immediate dangers. Luckily for him, the Hermitcraft equivalent of defusing a bomb is to upend a bucket of water on it and hope for the best.
Okay. That's oh! Oh! Oh!
What's happened to his dog?
Oh, that took me down to 4 hearts. Oh, did you hurt my dog?
I don't know, something's happened.
And that's about it for this week's recap. Our writer is LoyXP and my name is Pixelriffs. The Minecraft team is making big moves with their new experimental snapshots, and I compared a few worlds side by side this week to see what's changed. You'll find a link to that video in this week's End Screen Theatre. Don't forget to leave a like while you're still here and subscribe so you won't miss future recaps. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next week.